Nagsibabaan daw ang standing ng mga Canadian universities sa global rankings. So bakit kaya? Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Nako po, ano kaya ang dahilan? Yung mga top Canadian universities, halos lahat raw nagsibabaan ang kanilang rankings sa isang kumbaga global survey, no? Comparing universities from different countries. Okay, yan ang ating pag-uusapan. Kasama ang nagbabalik sa In a Nutshell si Kuya Nick San ng San Unity Immigration. Hello, Kuya Nick!
Hello, Ina. Hello, everyone sa ating mga viewers at sa mga followers and believers ng Ina na Nutshell.
Talagang may believers.
Siyempre, ito yung followers at believers. Diba?
Before we proceed with the discussion guys, i-follow nyo yung Facebook page nila Kuya Nico at saka ni Ate Oshin. Hi, Ate Oshin! Ito po sila sa Facebook, ha? San Unity Immigration. And throughout our episode, Kuya Nick's email, if you wanna get in touch with him, will also be crawling down there. Ayan, okay? info@sununityimmigration.com. Okay.
Yes.
Sige, puntahan natin tong bakit ba ito ang ating pag-uusapan? It's because of this report that came out I guess more than a week ago, Isa lang ito sa maraming news outfits that reported this. Tignan nyo, guys. Nearly all Canadian universities fall in global rankings. Let me just browse through the story, no? Sabi dito, nearly all Canadian universities lost ground in a global ranking of the top post-secondary schools, reflecting growing pressure from better-funded international competitors. Okay, so ang sinasite na study dito, itong Center for World University Rankings. Yung mga pinagmamalaking universities ng Canada, kasama na dyan yung University of Toronto, yung McGill, yung mga ganyan. Kumbaga, parang wala yatang tumaas Yung University of Toronto lang ang nag-maintain ng status. Everything else, parang nagsibabaan. Parang slight decline lang naman, Ayan, 37 of Canada's 38 ranked universities fell compared to last year, while one maintained position. Yung University of Toronto lang yung nag-maintain ng position. Okay. Sige, si Kuya Nick po ay isang education consultant. Nako, napaka maalam patungkol sa International Student Program. Okay, tumutulong ng mga international students makapunta dito sa Canada. First off, what do you think happened here, Kuya Nick? Bakit kaya bumaba ang ranking ng karamihan ng mga top university sa Canada?
Yes. Alam mo, Ina, kung makita mo yung page kung nasan yung news na to, very alarming siya. For example, lalo na sa mga nag-a-apply pa lang kasi isa to sa mga factor na tinitingnan nila is yung credibility ng school, nasa top, ba to. But, nearly all Canadian universities fall in global rankings. Masyado siyang general kasi. Marami kasing factors or tinatawag na marami silang mga key performance indicator, KPI, na tinitignan. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na bumaba sila because the quality of education is gone. No, there are some factors that we need to be aware of, but hindi natin alam how they rank this one. But once again, this is just a disclaimer. Hindi po kami mga expert, but we have knowledge that we can share. Expert, but with the profession I have, I've been doing this for the last 8 to 10 years. And thank you, Ina, for giving me the opportunity to share about it. So once again, there's a lot of factors that we need to consider. Bakit bumaba yung ranking ng isang university? Lalo na dito sa Canada, main, Ina, this is just one factor, is the immigration changes. Immigration rules.
Okay.
And alam mo naman natin, for the past 3 to 4 years, there's a lot of changes. And of course, yung ibang mga bansa din, they increase the competition kasi alam nilang alam mo yung Canada is one of the top for education right now. But there are some certain countries din na nilevel up po nila yung educational system na, like China, Singapore, diba, in other European nations, no, na talagang nag-invest din sila for higher education, research, and innovation. So yun po yung mga
mga factors.
Mga factor or competition natin, in short, no? Nabubuhay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, Kuya Nick, nabasa ko, tulad nung sinasabi mo, according to one article I read about this, it does not mean na bumaba sa ranking if naging pumangit din yung quality of education. No. Hindi. Kumbaga, sabi nung isang article na nabasa ko, pareho pa din. Actually, nasa top pa nga rin tayo ng rankings. Yes. It's just that, tulad nung sinabi ni Kuya Nick, sabi nung isa, hindi kasing laki yung investments na pinopour sa Canadian universities ngayon compared ng mga ibang bansa. Kaya, yun ang nagpa-drop. Hindi tayo nakasabay dun sa investments nila. Yes. Diyan ba papasok yung sinasabi mong immigration na Kuya Nick? As we all know. Sige, diretsuhin mo na. Ano ba yung paghihigpit sa immigration that you think directly affected here?
So right now sa Canada, you see, this is one of the changes that they did last year is the proof of funds. They increased the proof of funds for international education. For international students. So isa yun sa factor. Ang Canada is one of the most expensive then when it comes to masters if gusto mo mag-aral dito sa Canada compared to other countries like Germany, Spain. Ang mura ng master's program nila. Imagine mo may sa Spain pa lang, they are opening the international student pathway in Spain right now. It's open for everyone. And yung master's na for 2 years is only 10,000 euros to 15,000 euros. And that's for 2 years. And the good thing is, like I said, that they invested a lot on their universities. Kaya nga medyo tayo kasi sa Canada, medyo maraming changes ang nangyayari, less yung progression or innovation na nabibigyan ng halaga. Kasi they're focusing on cutting down the number of immigrants, the number of students, the number of temporary foreign worker. No, so napabayaan natin yung innovation ng mga universities natin, which is yung ibang bansa, sabi nga ni Ms. Ina na they put a lot of time and money to really increase for the education sector of the country.
Oo. Kasi guys, totoo ba kasi talaga, Kuya Nick, na ang mga Canadian universities, which I think this is not good, naging dependent kasi daw sila sa tuition, sa mas malaking tuition na sinisingil sa international students. And now, na nagbabawas ngayon, kumbaga, it's stricter, may stricter eligibility for international students to come to Canada. So, nababawasan yung interest ng mga students. In short, nababawasan yung tuition fee na binabayad, kulang na ang pondo. Yes. Bakit ganun, Bakit kaya hindi po ng government mismo ba, Kuya Nick? If you know lang, okay? Bakit sila magre-rely? Tama bang mag-rely sa international students for their funding?
Actually, Ina, nung una, since nga nag-boom ngayon international student pathway ng lahat ng colleges and universities, talagang yung funds nila is hindi sila nangailangan ng funds sa government because they have enough funds to innovate all yung mga laboratories nila, lahat ng mga facilities. Yeah. It's just that in-address ng Canada yung isang problema na masyado ng maraming international student. So when they address this one, so syempre nabawasan yung mga enrollees, yung mga interested. So ito din yung sinabi mo, the funding challenges came in. So several Canadian universities nagkakaroon sa ng layoff, yung rising operational cost kasi hindi nila na-maintain Kumbaga, out of 1,000 students, 200 na lang out of 1,000 international students, this year 200 na lang. So, alam mo yun, they're projecting the budget na by next year meron din tayong same international student population, but since nabawasan na nga, yun nga, yung operational cost, syempre, nagdagdag kayo ng teacher, kung konti lang yung estudyante, babawasan mo rin yung mga faculties mo. So if you can see, Miss Inan, marami tayong mga layoff, hindi lang sa mga public universities, even public colleges. Even nagsha-shutdown ng mga campuses. Because hindi sila nakaka-sustain sa cost to maintain. That's why now, bumalik na naman sila sa traditional way na, okay, government, we need funds because we have local. So ngayon, humihingi na naman ng funds pabalik ng medyo malaking funds to sustain a big university here in Canada.
Abangan natin kung ano ang magiging sagot both ng federal government ba or provincial government ba ang sasagot dyan sa paghingi ngayon ng pondo ng mga universities. Siguro one thing I also want to address in this episode, Kuya Nick, is explain natin yung kahalagahan ng pagpopondo sa mga universities na ito and yung kahalagahan din ng international student program. Okay? Because of what's happened dito sa immigration, I think parang nagkaroon ng impression na peki naman yung international student program eh. Hindi naman talaga yan para mag-aral eh. Gusto talaga nila mag-PR. In some way, I get it because naabuso nga, okay, over recent years. Siguro let's bring it back to the original intention of the international student program. Okay, maliban sa kung paano siya ginamit bilang PR pathway ng marami, 'di ba? Kasi it's a way, I'll start na, it's a way to attract global talent.
Yes.
'Di ba, ng Canadian government. Kasi 'di ba, they really prefer din na dito mismo nag-aaral sa mga top universities natin. Tapos ang end goal is dito sila manirahan at mag-contribute sa Canada, 'di ba? Tama ba? So, if hindi maganda ang standing ng mga Canadian universities, then you will attract less of these mga potential contributors to the economy. Tama ba yun, Kuya Nick?
Yeah, like I said, tama yung sinabi ni Miss Ina. Of course, ang Canada, alam naman natin, this is a country of immigrant, no? This is a country of global talent. This is a country of talagang kailangan nila ng somebody outside to innovate the system that they have. No, kasi kung wala yung mga yung mga newcomers, wala yung mga tawag ito, temporary foreign worker that they brought their experience and their skills here, talagang may iwanan si Canada. Actually, Ina, marami pa rin mga system dito na iwan pa rin sila hanggang ngayon.
Anong halimbawa, Kuya Nick?
I mean, sa IT industry, no, nasa IT field din kasi ako. Akala ko kasi, ito yung mga sinasabi ko na, alam mo yun, expect ko sa Canada, their system is so, alam mo yun, advanced. Pagdating pala dito, mas advanced pala yung ginagamit natin sa Pilipinas versus dito.
Oh, wow. Diba?
But like I said, this is just one factor that personally I encountered when I work as a workforce analyst. Yung system na sabi ko, uy, old school na to. Bakit ito pa rin yung ginagamit nila? No, but marami pa rin, no. It's just that change is a big word for them, especially for me when I work here in the corporate when I started to do some changes, sabi niya medyo resistant sila sa changes eh. Kasi nga gusto nila yung tradition lang na process. But to address again yung sinabi ni Sina, ang Canada needs global talent and international students is one of the major population that can offer that. Kasi nga, right now, if you will notice the changes last year, Inez, they shifted to, if you want to bring your family here in Canada, you need to take a master's program or a PhD program or a certain bachelor's degree program. Or if you want to migrate here, meron silang in-introduce na category base, no? Or for higher chance for those people that Canada need, no, mas maganda ito yung mga profession na kailangan namin. And for non-masters na program, may tinatawag sila na certain program lang na pwede mong tinatawag na field of studies. No, ito lang yung programs na pwede mong applyan na may postgrad work permit. If wala doon yung sa listahan yung program na kinuha mo, wala siyang postgrad work permit. Ito yung mga field like agriculture, transportation, healthcare, education, and STEM. Even trades. So, pabago-bago siya. Yung listahan na yun, hindi siya, din.
Yeah. Ay, nako. I know, no? So, again, guys, may ibang ambag itong international student program sa ekonomiya ng Canada. Hindi lang po ito paraan para maging PR. Okay? I just wanted to stress that point. Kanina, Kuya Nick, you mentioned na ang ranking ng mga universities, tinitignan din yan, according to you, ng mga international students, yung mga gustong mag-aral dito bilang international students, which is to me a good thing, no? Kasi remember, at the peak of the international student, yung surge ng international students dito, nagkaroon ng issue dun sa tinatawag na mga diploma mills. Diba? Yung kuha na lang ng kuha ng mga estudyante. Wala namang silbi masyado yung magiging diploma nila pakatapos. Basta lahat sila, bigay lang ng bigay ng diploma, kaya nga diploma mills. At least, what you're saying is, sa mga kliyente mo, Kuya Nick, they really want to be enrolled in universities that offer quality programs that would also lead them to better jobs after graduation. Yung mga Pilipino, ganun, oo.
Ina, alam mo, Alec, maraming factors when you apply as an international student. Iba-iba kasi yung client namin. Sabi mo nga, may client na gusto lang mag-aral. They don't care about PR. But those are like 1 in a million client. But there are also students that they want to study at the same time they want to get their PR. That's 99.9% of those. But factor of the school, siyempre, gagastos ka ng milyon eh. No, I want to make sure na credible naman yung school. I want to make sure na it has a good ranking. No, I want to make sure na if I finish my program, siyempre, if the company will ask, where did you finish your bachelor's, or your master's, and isa sa mga changes once again ang ginawa ni Canada a few years ago, or hindi man last year, tinanggal nila yung private colleges to offer international studies. Ito tinatawag na DLI, Designated Learning Institution. These are the school, universities, or colleges that can offer international student. Now, ang ginawa nila, hindi nila tinanggalan ng DLI license, but tinanggalan nila ng postgrad work permit eligibility.
Yan, oo nga naman. Okay, well, tingnan natin yung magiging development dito sa issue na to. Siguro this report will push the government to increase funding to make up for the lost funds na bit-bit ng mga maraming international students sana, We'll see. Okay, well, Kuya Nick, thank you so much for your insights about this issue. Yung mga nanonood sa atin, what do you think about this? Put them down there in the comment section. Nakalimutan ko pala itanong lang, Kuya Nick, since parang nagiging less attractive, yung Canadian universities for international students, anong trend nakikita mo? Saan na ngayon ang pupunta mga international students pala?
As I mentioned sa unang part ng episode na to, maraming mga countries na nag-invest, they develop and innovate their education sector. So isa po dito is mga European countries like Germany, Spain, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. So these are the countries na pumupunta na sila sa doon rather than Canada and US. It's from the US as well. Kasi si US nag-restricted siya eh. So tignan natin, kasi nangyari na rin to a few years back. Parang
talaga?
Ano na rin to eh. Parang trend na rin to na ang immigration, pag ganun, pababa, pataas. But every country has its own challenges din naman. Siguro, masasabi ko lang, sana yung ibang countries learn from Canada as well, anong nangyari, sana, para maiwasan din yung matulad din naging problema ng Canada when it comes to international education.
Yeah. Okay, on that note, we will end this episode here. Let me know what you guys think about this topic. Kuya Nick, thank you again so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.